Hey everybody, it's Cathy, and today I just wanted to sit down and have a chat with you. I wanted to give you an update on my weight loss progress and what is going on with my walking. I know that I started a challenge about a month ago, and then you didn't hear much from me, so I want to talk about that as well. So I began this weight loss journey, I believe it was around July 9th or 10th of 2023. And as of today, I have lost 25 pounds. So yes, it's taken me 11 months to lose 25 pounds, but I've had a lot of things going on in my personal life with my husband's health and some other family members falling ill. So it's kind of really been a stressful time for me, but I'm so proud that I have stuck with it and have lost 25 pounds. I have put 25 pounds on or even just stayed the same. So any loss at this point in my life is something that I'm very appreciative of, and I have found that working with the dietitian and changing how I think about food as fuel and, not constantly worrying about the pounds on the scale, I find that I have changed. And I just want to dive a little deeper into what I've learned throughout the process, what I've learned about myself, and I thought I'd share it with you because so many of you tell me that you can relate to me and to some of the struggles that I'm going through. So I do have a playlist. If this is your first time here, if you want to go back and catch up, I am working one-on-one with a dietitian. Well, I had been working with a dietitian, but I just have one more appointment. I think it's the end of August or something, just for a check-in, because I really don't feel at this point that I can learn much more from her. I do highly recommend, if you can work with a dietitian, it's really been a game changer for me because I have been a pretty much lifelong loser of weight, following Weight Watchers, different programs at home, and nothing really stuck until I began working with the dietitian, but also I think doing some psychological work myself and really diving deep. As the pounds are coming off, I feel like I'm becoming lighter. I'm not talking about physically, but emotionally. And I believe for myself, and probably for a lot of other people, that if you are an emotional eater like I am, that every pound you put on, it's an emotion. Like, it's pain. It's when you were scared, when you were frustrated, angry. For me, I'm not really a big foodie. I could eat the same thing every day. I really don't care, but I was choosing the wrong things. Sugar is my vice. So I, eat candy or a lot of sugar. Takeout food is a vice. Now I still do takeout, but I've really cut back on that. And since doing so, I really don't crave it that much anymore. It's taken, 11 months to get here, but nevertheless, I'm here. And also, I have really quit putting limits or time limits on my weight loss. And yes, I'm following a plan, but I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't lose 5 or 10 pounds in a month. Because I know from November last year to probably about March, after receiving that news about my husband having metastatic cancer and there's no cure and no treatment, it really was a gut punch. And it really took its toll on me mentally. It may not have shown through my videos, but trust me, living with cancer for 30 years, it'll be 30 years in the end of August that he was first diagnosed with leukemia, and subsequently, in and out of hospitals for the last 30 years, had a bone marrow transplant, has had nothing but complications. And then we got, in the last 5 years, a bit of a reprieve where things seemed to be going well. And then just out of the blue, he went about a sinus infection. And then the doctor found this lump. And, well, we know how the rest of the story goes, that he was diagnosed with metastatic cancer. It's something that's really difficult to deal with every day. Some days are better than others. This past week has been tough because every 3 months he has to have a CT scan and then sees the oncologist a couple weeks later to go over the results. But we see the results on the computer, there's a way that we can log in and see the results. And we already know that the tumors are slowly growing, but thankfully they are slowly growing, not causing him any discomfort or any symptoms or anything. And where the tumors are, they're not like at the moment threatening like his breathing or anything like that. But on this new CT scan, it did show that a new tumor has started. So, we're going to be dealing with this for a while. It's not easy. I'm just like fried. The past 30 years, being his sole caregiver and going through some really difficult times, raising our daughter, dealing with my parents, failing health and subsequently losing each of them. It actually, today is the 7th anniversary of my dad's passing, so that's been on my mind this week. And then I lost my mom in March of 2023. It's been tough, and I try to always, remain upbeat and positive. But some days it's just a struggle. And what I have learned, what works the best for me is on those days when, life feels tough, just stay in your pajamas, do what you gotta do. If the best I can do that day is just getting out of bed and brushing my teeth, then, that is a win. I am going to be 56 in a couple of weeks, and I have realized that it's important to take care of myself. And that's something that I have neglected most of my adult life. I'm a great caregiver. I'm great at taking care of other people. I'm not so great at taking care of myself. And maybe it's just because I've lost both of my parents now, and I kind of feel like an orphan even at 55 because I was very close with my parents, and I still do have siblings and we are close. But there's just something about losing both of your parents. Like it changes you inside. And I think that losing both of them, realizing now that me and my siblings are kind of the elders of the family, that it's sobering, and it's really made me stop and think, like, the years are going by so fast. I really do have to take care of myself because my body has been very kind to me up until now. I have really no serious health issues. I have hypothyroidism. I've dealt with migraines. I can deal with them. They're not fun. But yeah, no other really illnesses or diseases. And I'm very, very thankful and grateful for that. But I'm realizing, like in the last month, I hurt my knee. I've torn something in my knee. I'm still waiting for an MRI. It's been very painful the past 3 weeks, but thankfully I've noticed in the last couple of days I've been doing some stretching exercises and it's not as sore as it was, so I'm hoping that's healing. But then I woke up today with a sore eye, went to the eye doctor, and I have somehow scratched my cornea. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it is so painful. So I have to wear a contact lens in this eye, and we'll take it out in a couple of days. And, there's really nothing you can do for it other than drops and putting some gel in at night at bedtime because I do have dry eyes, but it's painful. So these two little things, although they are minor, they're still a wake-up call. Like, you know what? You may feel like 25 up here, but the body is 55, almost 56. And I always use the analogy of if I was driving a 55-year-old car, that I would have to take good care of it to make sure that it's still running. So I kind of try and remind myself that I have to do that with my body. So I'm really working at that and, trying to do a better job of taking care of myself. So you can go check out my playlist. All I'm doing is I'm following a balanced plate approach. I'm not calling it a diet, it's a way of life, where I basically divide a plate into 3 different parts. Half is vegetables, and then a quarter's protein, and the other quarter is fiber-rich complex carbohydrates. And I have 2 planned snacks a day. And a lot of the days I don't follow the balanced plate because some days I'm just not hungry. And there have been days when I just want an ice cream cone and I'm having that ice cream cone. We've talked about that in the past. Something that might help you if you have cravings like I do. Say, for instance, I'm craving a vanilla milkshake. And I know like I probably shouldn't have it, but if I wanted to, I could. So what I tell myself is in 24 hours, if I still want that vanilla milkshake, get it. Because I know myself, if I don't get it, I'm going to eat everything in the house, plus go get the vanilla milkshake. But what I have found is whenever the 24-hour passes, I've totally forgot about the vanilla milkshake. So that's just a little trick that I use whenever I'm craving something that is, really not healthy. But life happens. Life is stressful. You got to do what you got to do. And I also began working out in March, and I was using the Train Well fitness app. It used to be my co-pilot. I was doing a little bit of cardio stretching and weights with that, but I haven't worked out using the app since I was in Hawaii. That's where I tore it's either a ligament or my meniscus in my knee. Told my trainer, and if I want to do, I can do, like, I was sitting up in a chair and doing arm exercises. I've been slack doing that. So I need to get back to doing some weights, but it's just kind of been the past month or so has just been one thing after another. So I really need to, turn the page and start fresh again and get with it. I thought that I would make different chapters in this video where I just pose a question and then I talk a little bit about it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is how I have changed since losing 25 pounds. It's really taken me a while to notice the weight loss. I feel like it's not instantaneous. And I probably started noticing maybe around the 15-pound mark. And then I stayed there for a couple of months because that's when we went through like that difficult time just finding out about the new diagnosis. And I just kind of held the weight there. And then probably middle of January, I really started, getting back onto following my healthy eating habits. So obviously I can notice a change now. My body is getting smaller. I'm halfway to my 50-pound goal. I'm sleeping better at night. I can, run up the stairs. Well, maybe not now with my knee, but without getting winded. I find that I'm making better choices. I took this photo of myself last week for a video, and I was really shocked with, my appearance. I thought, wow, my hard work is really showing off. Mind you, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors because it's, an all black outfit. I have a tan, but I look darn good in this picture. And for me to say that about myself, it's not something that I say lightly because I'm not used to giving myself compliments, but I'm really trying to be kinder to myself. So I definitely do feel better. My confidence is a lot better. And I think that this picture, I'm going to print it off and I'm going to use that sort of as a reminder when I have those days where I just want to go off the rails and eat junk, that I'm going to look at this picture and think, all that hard work, that 11 months it took you to get, to this point, are you willing to throw it all away? I feel lighter emotionally. That for me, my weight, I put weight on, 30 years ago when I first got the diagnosis of my husband because I just didn't know how to deal with the stress in my life. I had a very hectic, stressful life. We were dairy farmers. It was just the two of us. I had live animals that we had to take care of and a 2-year-old daughter. There was just the two of us on the farm and I had to, figure out a way just to deal with it. And at the time, the way I dealt with it was by eating a lot of candy, a lot of processed foods. And, it probably wasn't the best way for me to deal with things. But at the time, it helped me get through it. And you know what? I did what I had to do. So now I'm working hard to ditch that weight. So, if you can learn from my, the things that I have went through, I never like to call anything a mistake. I like to look at it as a lesson. Nobody's perfect. And I find sometimes when we go through difficult things, and we come out on the other side much stronger than what we were. Life happens. There's going to be good, there's going to be bad. Some people are just dealt more bad than good. there's always somebody worse off. There's always, you know, a situation that is far greater than the one that you may find yourself in. That's not to minimize what you are going through or what I am going through, but I'm just trying to show you a little bit of perspective that, you know, if you feel getting down on yourself, just remember that you can get through this, you will get through it, and there will be better days. And just try and find the joy in each day, whether it just be that you woke up that morning. You know, maybe it's just listening to a bird sing. And it may sound silly and insignificant, but if you start off by being thankful for like just simple little things, I promise you, your outlook will change. And this is something that I try to practice every day. Am I perfect at it every day? No, nobody's perfect. You just do your best. But just always remember that you will get through it. Tomorrow is a new day and you can always start fresh tomorrow. And I also made some notes. I wanted to tell you that I went from a size pretty much 3X back in July of 2023. Now I am anywhere from a size 18 to a 1X depending on the brand. So I'm a size 18 in Athleta. Spanx, I'm a 1X in their pants and tops. Talbots, if I get a plus petite, I'm a 2X. If I get a plus, I'm a 1X. So I'm 5'4". Yeah, so 25 pounds lost, I guess for me is like, what, 2 sizes? I look at this picture of me from last year and I want to cry because I look at her, meaning me, and I don't recognize her. She looks very puffy because of her eating habits, eating a lot of sugar, eating a lot of processed food. She looks like she was carrying the weight of the world. I know I was going through a really difficult time after having just lost my mom, and I don't feel like I've grieved my mom because I was so busy after she died, you know, settling her estate, that I really only felt like in August of last year I was allowing myself the time to grieve, and then, you know, we get this diagnosis. So I've kind of put like my grief for mom in a box and it's on the bookcase and feel like I'll get to it later. I guess that's how I sometimes deal with difficult things. Because I have to tell you, you know, living this constant stress of this dark cloud of cancer and all the crap that comes with it, it's difficult. It wears on a person, like mentally. It's really, really exhausting. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you just have to find a way for you to cope with whatever you're going through. But sometimes I feel like that's what I've had to do, is put like emotions in a box for another day whenever I have the time to grieve. So I look at this picture of me from a year ago and I'm not going to feel sorry for her. I'm not going to pity her. I'm just going to say, you know what? You did the best that you could. And thank you for keeping me healthy, because you know what? She had a lot to deal with. I'm definitely not that Cathy. And I'll be anxious to see myself when I'm, you know, 50 pounds down, how I have changed or how I will change. I'm having fun, you know, trying to figure out what I do and don't like in terms of clothes, trying to figure out like my personality. I've always kind of been an upbeat, bubbly personality type person, but I do keep things to myself whenever things are bothering me. I don't like really to let people in. I just like to deal with things on my own, and that's not always the best thing. So that's another thing that I have learned. So if you can learn, you know, through me, I hope that you find, you know, this helpful. What am I doing to continue to lose weight? Well, I'm just continuing on with the balanced plate approach. It's really the first time in my adult life where I feel that I have control. I don't feel deprived. Nothing is off limits. Of course, I can't eat like junk every day, but once in a while I can have a treat. Thankfully, I love vegetables, so that's not a problem. I know a lot of people don't like vegetables, but I love them. I could eat broccoli 3 times a day. I love broccoli. So yeah, I'm just like cooking more at home. I'm trying to cook healthier meals. I've never really been one for rich meals. Like I don't like a lot of sauces or things like that. I'm trying to, whenever I do get a sweet tooth, I'll have a fruit instead. I know fruit's controversial. I eat it. My dietitian says it's fine. You know what? You do you if you don't want to eat fruit, but it's helped me a lot and I've still lost weight. So I'll make myself a fruit salad and that'll keep in the fridge for up to a week. I actually made a video about that. I'll link it here if you want to go check it out. Super, super simple. You can put whatever fruit you like in it. I just chose what I like. If I'm craving something sweet, I'll just have a bowl of that and it just, squashes the cravings. So have I stayed completely off candy? No. I did buy myself a bag of Werther's last week because I knew these test results were coming. Am I going to beat myself up about it? No. I'm human. But the point is you just keep getting back at it. So I am not giving up because it's taken me this long to realize that I am worth the effort. And now that I'm seeing changes in my body, but also feeling changes inside, I don't want to lose that feeling. I want for you to also feel good about yourself. So I really hope that by me opening up and being very candid helps you. So please let me know if you find these videos helpful. Because I know some people, they don't care about the weight loss videos. They just want the fashion videos. But I do like sitting down and chatting and sharing my experiences with you, even though I am a private person, because I've got so many messages from so many of you that, you do find this helpful, and because you don't have support any other place. So let me know what you think about these types of videos in the comments. So I'm still following the balance plate. I'm going to try and get back to at least lifting weights, but, not doing any cardio for my knee. I'm trying to baby it. Hopefully my eye gets better soon. It's killing me right now. The other thing is I'm just being kinder to myself. If I notice that I'm going to speak negatively to myself, then, I'll try and switch it right there and then. Because I find that's really helped. Because whenever you start to respect yourself, you expect better for yourself and of yourself. And that has helped me a lot as well. And I'm just going to continue on. Whenever I can start walking again, I'll start walking again. And, you keep on doing that walking challenge. If it's helping you, that's great. I'm really bummed that I can't do my walking. So I'm trying to be extra careful with my eating, because if I can't exercise for my cardio, I certainly don't want to slip backwards and put weight on. Am I completely off sugar? No, I am not. I was at the very beginning back in July because I knew that I could not bring it into my house. But, since Christmas, it's kind of crept in a little bit. But I'm doing my best to stay away from it. Using tricks like the fruit salad. Telling myself the 24-hour thing. Most of the time that works. But if we're out and say it's a really hot day and we want to go for a Dairy Queen, I'm going to get the Dairy Queen. Life is too short. Am I going to get the Dairy Queen every day? No. But I'm going to do it once in a while. I mean, I want to live. I want to enjoy my life. That's the point, right? If I slip up, that's okay. I can get right back on the horse right that minute. And if I slip off, for the rest of the day, I'm cool with it. I'm just going to get back on the next day. And I do weigh myself, not every day, probably about every second day. But I do that not to become obsessed with the number on the scale, but I just want to know for myself, am I, doing okay with my eating? Some people like to weigh themselves every day. I find that stressful because I can put 5 pounds on in a day and, it's just like retaining water. So I really take my weight once a week, and I do measurements once a month. And I do recommend doing your measurements, at least once a month, because it's so weird. It must have something to do with hormones and aging, because I'm finding curves that I never knew existed in my body before. I find my body and where the extra weight is, where it goes, is in a different place. I feel like whenever I eat sugar, I can tell, and you can probably tell too, because I find that my face gets puffy. But, I still have this little bit of a double chin. I would have thought it'd be gone by losing 25 pounds, but I guess not. That's just me. However, I can see, now I'm getting, a waistline. And that's interesting and fun to see. So yeah, aging and weight loss, it's certainly different at 55 than it was at 25 when I could lose, 5 pounds in a week. And yeah, now, 5 pounds in a month, it's like, yay, that's a good month. So what lesson have I learned since July of 2023 that I can share with you? Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. When the old negative Nancy creeps in, tell Nancy to get lost. And she served her purpose in the past, but you don't need her anymore. Be kind to yourself. At least say one kind thing to yourself a day. If you can say 5 kind things, that's even better. Keep practicing that, and I assure you it will get better and your confidence will get better. Perfection is not important, but persistence is. I am not perfect. I show you when I fail. But something that I have been this year is I have really kept on top of it, and I keep starting over again and over again until I get it. And it's paid off. I've lost 25 pounds. Do I wish I had lost 50 pounds? Of course, I'm not going to lie. But I'm really happy with 25 pounds because it could be 0 pounds or, 10 pounds the other way. So I really quit beating myself up, and you know what? I celebrate my small successes, whereas before I would have beaten myself up about it. Maybe that's just wisdom that comes with age, or maybe it's just I, feel so beaten down with things in life. But that's probably the biggest change that I have noticed in my thinking in myself in the last 11 months is that I've certainly become more patient with myself, and I guess this was just the right time for me. All the other times, maybe I just wasn't ready mentally because I was still so stressed about taking care of Mom and her health was not good. I feel in a way that with my mom's passing, that it was kind of like a green light for me to, okay, now, like, you really need to start taking care of yourself. There's no more excuses out here for you. You have to make yourself a priority. And I think maybe it took me losing both of my parents for that to finally sink in. I'm still thinking on that. But whenever I do think about it, I do believe that could be very true. What do you think? Have you ever experienced anything similar? Do you have any words of wisdom or, I'd love to hear what works for you. And the other thing that I want to leave you with is celebrate the non-scale victories. That used to be a term we'd use in Weight Watchers. So non-scale victories, maybe you have a week where you didn't lose any weight, but maybe you, you went out to the movies and you didn't order popcorn or a chocolate bar. Maybe you passed on dessert. Those are non-scale victories. And you have to remember, especially as we are getting older and we're going through menopause or through menopause, it is hard to lose the weight. And like I said, it is so easy for me to retain water and to, gain 5 pounds overnight. But I know it's not like 5 pounds of fat. It's just fluid, and it will eventually come off. So don't get so wrapped up about the number on the scale. Celebrate the small wins, and the small wins eventually turn into one big victory. So a year from now, I want to sit here and, I really want to be maybe 50, 60 pounds lighter. I'm not going to put the pressure on myself, but I feel like I really like who I'm becoming, both physically and, I don't want to say emotionally, just how I feel about myself. Yeah, I'm proud of the work that I've done, and I want to continue doing it. And I just want to continue to become a better version of me. And I think that's a good thing that anybody can do is just, find peace and, truly, truly respect yourself and love yourself because you deserve it. And don't say, oh, I'll do that after I've lost 50 pounds. No. Learn from me. That doesn't work. You have to start honoring yourself, making space for yourself, making yourself a priority. You have to do that now because you're just going to keep putting it off I know I was the queen of putting it off until, I lose 10 pounds or whatever. And by changing my way of thinking, by changing, how I thought about myself, by being more positive about myself, by, celebrating my small successes, that really it does click up in here eventually. And then I feel like now I demand that I be respectful of myself. Does that make sense? Anyways, I just want to leave you with that. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do these weight loss updates. If there's enough people that want them, maybe I'll pop in here and there. But, I'm just not going to pop on every month and say, oh, I lost a pound this month. Because, it's kind of like whoopee. But it is a big whoopee because it's better than putting it on. But if I find things that I find are very helpful to me, I'm certainly going to pass them along to you. So if you like fashion and beauty and healthy living type videos, I hope that you will subscribe. It's 100% free. Go check out my weight loss playlist. You can see the balanced plate approach. And thank you so much for spending time with me today. And I wish you well on your personal journey. See you soon. Bye.